Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents A Good Name by Yejide Kilanko, narrated by Délé Ogundiran. Part 1. One does not enter the water and then run from the cold. Chapter 1. Eziafa Okereke pulled the small towel from his trouser pocket and wiped the sweat off his face. He draped the damp cloth across the back of his neck. Living through 12 years of long and harsh Minnesota winters made the sweltering Houston heat hard to bear. He picked up the barbecue tongs and placed the last set of marinated pork ribs on the sizzling grill. There was a plus side to the humid weather. It brought back precious memories of Oji, his home village. After so many years of gray and black, he was dreaming in color again. My guy, Gisieke. Eziafa turned to smile at his best friend. Felix had acquired a full head of gray hair by 30. Eziafa was still startled every time he saw the hair. Felix refused to dye it. How goes the grilling battle? Felix asked. Eziafa scowled. His grill duty was Felix's fault. When he'd asked him to join the Houston Igbo Cultural Association, Eziafa's first response was no. The last thing he needed was insults from small boys jingling shiny coins in baggy jeans pockets. To get Felix off his back, Eziafa attended an association meeting. By evening's end, Eziafa found himself paying membership dues. He could not say no when an elder assigned him grill duty for the party. Didn't you say you would help? Eziafa asked. Felix flashed crooked white teeth as he handed over a chilled bottle of palm wine. No vex. Nkolika asked me to run an errand. Eziafa pursed his lips. Shameless woman rapper. I knew you would have an excuse. People are raving over the barbecue, Felix said. The compliment made Eziafa smile. They are? Yes. Maybe you should forget about driving a taxi and open a shish kebab hut. Eziafa downed a third of the palm wine and wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. That's not why I moved here. I know. You can run the kebab hut on the side. We all need multiple streams of income. His childhood friend had always been one to encourage. I'll add it to my list of possible ventures. Felix gave him a thumbs up. Obikwelu and I are going to buy more ice. I'll be here, Eziafa said. Felix's wife, Nkolika, came for the final pan of ribs. Well done, oh, she said, smiling. Nkolika's fresh face made it seem as though she was getting younger as her husband was aging. She could have passed as an older sister to her teen daughters. Eziafa smiled his thanks. After cleaning the grill, he went back into the high school auditorium, which was vibrating with loud music and conversation. It was a wonder they managed to hear themselves think. Grateful for the air conditioning, Eziafa made his way down the long buffet table. He heaped homemade food on 2 styrofoam plates and sat on the nearest empty chair. The women had outdone themselves. The pounded yam's texture was just how Eziafa liked it. The starchy morsels didn't stick to his fingers. Generous amounts of spicy okra soup warmed his stomach. Eziafa licked his fingers. He would coax some take-home food from Nkolika. A peal of laughter made Eziafa look up from his plate. The sound came from a young woman seated at the other end of the table. As she threw her head back in another burst of laughter, Eziafa's eyes were free to caress the caramel skin showcased by a bright yellow halter top. Gnawing on a chicken drumstick, he imagined his fingers grazing her soft skin. Even though she seemed oblivious to his curious stare, Eziafa forced his gaze away. She could be someone's wife. He jumped at the tap on his shoulder. It was Felix. Annoyed, Eziafa kissed his teeth. "This man, you almost gave me a heart attack." Felix grinned. "No, Vex. I wanted to let you know we're seated at a table by the door." Eziafa had good reason to stay where he was. "I'll join you guys later." Felix left. Eziafa stole a glance at the woman's ring finger. It was bare. Her phone conversation dragged on. Eziafa's growing impatience had him tapping fingers on the side of his chair. As soon as she put her cell phone down, he pushed back his chair, straightened his shirt over a round stomach, and walked over to her. Hoping a big smile masked his nervousness, he said, "Hello, I'm Eziafa Okereke." She shook his offered hand. "Jovita Asika. I don't believe we've met." He held on to her soft hand. "No, it would be impossible to forget your face." Jovita gave him a skeptical look as she released his hand. "I'm sure that's what you tell all the ladies you meet." Eziafa grinned. Jovita was built the way he liked his women, voluptuous and several inches taller than him. "Only the beautiful ones," he said. Jovita pointed at the chair beside her. "I guess listening to a little more flattery wouldn't hurt." Eziafa sat. "I'd love to have a private conversation with you." "Oh, okay. I do need to make a quick run to the ladies' room. Can we meet up at the bar?" Eziafa jumped to his feet. "I'll be waiting." 5 minutes and 40 seconds later, Jovita joined him. To save money, the association executives decided against an open bar. Jovita ordered an extra dirty vodka martini. She also insisted on paying for his bottle of beer. Eziafa felt better when she agreed that he would pay for their second round of drinks. A woman shouldn't be buying his drinks. They sat in a small room off the auditorium. Ajar, the door did little to muffle the boisterous party sounds. Jovita lowered her cocktail glass to the small table. "So, what do you want to talk about?" she asked. "You." Jovita swirled her drink. The stuffed olives settled to the bottom of the glass. "Well, before I give up my secrets, you must tell me about yourself." He cleared his throat. "There's not much to say." She gave him an encouraging smile. "Humor me." Eziafa's nervous energy dissipated as he talked about moving to America and his life in Minnesota. Jovita revealed she was born and raised in Buffalo, New York. Like him, she moved to Houston in search of better opportunities. She worked as a real estate agent and an interior decorator. "So, what do you do for a living?" she asked. Eziafa shifted in his seat as he watched for the anticipated change in Jovita's expression. "I'm a taxi cab driver." "That's a fun job." Eziafa frowned. "Are you mocking me?" Jovita's hand settled on his bare arm. "No way. You can't interact with that many people without having some good stories to tell." Eziafa cleared his throat. Jovita's warm touch was messing with his mind. If she moved closer, he would make up all the stories she wanted to hear. "I haven't started the job," he said, "but it's why I moved to Houston." Jovita smiled. "Ah, welcome to H-Town. There are lots of things to see and do here." He was still adjusting to the sounds and sights of the sprawling city. "Maybe you can give me a tour?" Jovita gave him a non-committal shrug. "It will depend on my availability." Eziafa leaned forward when Jovita took a second glance at her wristwatch. He wasn't ready for the evening to end. "You have to go?" he asked. "Yeah, I hadn't planned to stay this long." "You have other plans?" "No, I'm just low-key mad. Earlier, I wasn't impressed when one of the older women mocked my attempts to speak Igbo. She said I was an ABN. What does that mean? Then they called me American-born Niger. Surprised by her perfect pidgin English, Eziafa hooted with laughter. Jovita frowned. It's not funny. His laughter died. Sorry, I didn't expect to hear those words from you. My parents speak pidgin to each other. You sound authentic. I'm sure your Igbo is also excellent. My Igbo sucks. I should have paid attention during the lessons my parents arranged. Still, I don't understand why. Instead of teaching me the proper pronunciation, these women laugh at me. Then when they speak Igbo to me and I respond in English, they're quick to say, I'm conceited. She sighed. I don't even know why I keep coming to the meetings. It is good to associate with your people. Whether at home or abroad, there is strength in numbers. Not when my own people think I'm a second-class Igbo person. Eziafa doubted the women meant Jovita any harm. Don't mind them. It's easy for you to say. I can offer some free Igbo language lessons. Really? Yes. This American capitalist is curious about something. What's in it for you? Eziafa cleared his throat. As a true Igbo man, I'm committed to the language's globalization. Jovita's hearty laugh rang out in the small room. That's plain bull. It's the truth. The wall clock chimed 6 times. Time for me to leave. She fished the last stuffed olive from her glass and popped it in her mouth. Eziafa rose to his feet as she pushed back her chair. Will your card turn into a pumpkin if you don't? He asked. Jovita rolled her eyes. I no longer believe in fairy tales, and I'm not leaving my pricey Louis Vuitton shoe behind. That's too bad. I would have taken the bus to find you. You're funny, she said. It's been great talking to you. Same here. Eziafa cleared his throat. So, what's your phone number? I hope your boyfriend won't mind you taking calls from other men. This Nigerian way of soliciting information pisses me off, Jovita said. Will it kill you to ask a direct question? He grinned. It's not how we do things. That's what my parents say. God forbid you guys learn to do things differently. Eziafa shrugged. Why fix something that's not broke? There is nothing wrong with growing, Jovita said. To answer your unasked question, I don't have a boyfriend. And even if I did, trust me, he wouldn't tell me whose calls to take or not to take. Jovita pulled a business card from her purse and handed it to him. He pocketed the card. I can apply for the boyfriend position? I never said I was looking for a man. Eziafa lifted his chin. With all humility, I can say my impressive resume has changed many doubtful minds. You will want to keep it on file for future opportunities. Your confidence is admirable, she said. You inspire me. Jovita cocked her head. I do? Eziafa nodded. If he played his cards right, his self-imposed celibacy could come to a satisfying end. You'll hear all about your massive influence during our first date. Jovita was silent as they headed for the door. He held it open. After you? She raised her eyebrow. A quasi-gentleman. Eziafa licked his lips. The truth is, I need a grown woman like you. Someone brave and competent enough to unwrap this, complex package. Dorita's eyes twinkled with mischief. You should make that line the primary goal on your resume. Eziafa winked. I love insider tips. Chapter 2. The following weekend, an elated Eziafa drove a Crown Victoria sedan away from the auction site. Thanks to Felix's advice, he made the winning bid. Felix read out directions to Dinesh's apartment building. The Sri Lankan, an automotive engineer in his home city of Colombo, was the go-to guy for free vehicle inspections. In America, he worked as a sanitation engineer. Eziafa had laughed when he found out it was the politically correct term for a garbage collector. While Dinesh tinkered under the car hood, Eziafa and Felix sat on lawn chairs and drank from icy cans of soda. Eziafa gave Felix a grateful look. Friends like him were rare. "Nah, thanks for all the help," he said. Felix inclined his head. "My brother, no be today. You would do the same for me. Now that we've sorted out the car, it's important you attend a safety class." Eziafa wasn't happy to hear about another expense. "My pocket is light, oh," he said. "Is this safety class mandatory?" "Relax. It's not a government program. One of us, Mr. Osas, offers the free program to new cab drivers from the Nigerian community. I'm sure you will find it beneficial." Eziafa settled back in his chair. "When can we go?" "I'll find out the date for the next class," Felix said. "Dalu." Felix raised his soda can. "To progress," Eziafa exhaled. At long freaking last. Felix gaped at him before bursting into laughter. He and Felix encountered 10 men and 1 woman at the community center's safety class. Noting the white plastic chairs in a horseshoe formation, Eziafa wondered idly if the woman was on her own or accompanying someone. An elderly man in a plaid shirt and jeans stood beside a flip chart. Eziafa noticed that his mesh baseball cap sat at an odd angle. It looked as if the man was missing some part of his head. Felix nudged Eziafa's arm. "That's Mr. Osas," he whispered. The teacher for the evening pointed at 2 empty chairs. "Men, welcome," he said in greeting. We were about to start. Eziafa and Felix took their seats. Mr. Osas' gaze swept the room. "Good evening. Welcome to Taxi Cab Driver Safety 101. If you did not know, taxi cab driving is not an easy job. To survive, you must understand the dangers and learn how to keep yourself safe. Working alone at odd hours of the night while in possession of cash makes you an easy target. Let us begin." Minutes into the class, 2 young men seated next to Eziafa began whispering. Eziafa glared at them. When their voices grew loud, Mr. Osas stopped mid-sentence. "Hey! You 2 over there. Keep talking. I can assure you that your poor mothers won't be laughing when your bullet-ridden bodies arrive in Nigeria." The room fell into stunned silence. "If any of you thinks learning this information is a waste of your precious time, you may leave now," he said. Stone-faced, the noisemakers stayed in their seats. Mr. Osas' eyes swept across the room. "Now that I have your undivided attention, we will go over the safety rules again. One day, they may save your life." On their way home, Eziafa's mind was still on their teacher's odd appearance. How did Mr. Osas get his head injury? Felix glanced at him. He was shot in the head during a taxi robbery. The words sent a chill through Eziafa. He fought back? No. The thief was angry that Mr. Osas only had $20 on him. Imagine, the man would have died for chicken change. Eziafa's heart thumped as he declared, "An early death will not be our portion. We will live and prosper in the face of our enemies." "That's the hope," Felix said. "None of us moved to America with a plan for premature death." Eziafa made the minor repairs Dinesh recommended and gave his vehicle a new coat of bright yellow paint. At the end of his first week, after paying for gas and other business expenses, Eziafa still had $600 in his pocket. Imagine, 600 American dollars. If he kept up the 12 to 16-hour shifts, the potential income was about $3,000 a month. In comparison to his paycheck at the meat processing factory, he'd finally struck gold. Eziafa walked through a set of sliding doors leading into the drab brick apartment building. Before Eziafa left Minnesota for Texas, he and Felix had co-signed a rental lease for his one-bedroom apartment. Eziafa's credit score wasn't good enough. The Southwest Houston area suited him. Populated by immigrants from all over the world, the neighborhood allowed him to feel part of it when he walked the streets. He was no longer a visitor. He retrieved a pile of mail from the lobby box on the way to the basement apartment. Eziafa wished there was someone there to welcome him with a smile, a woman who would ask about his day and listen to his stories while he ate her fragrant food. After taking a shower, Eziafa sat at the kitchen table and ate a bowl of instant noodles before sorting through his mail. One by one, he flung the envelopes on the table. Electricity bill, phone bill, renter's insurance bill. Chai! The bills just keep coming. At the sight of a crumpled airmail envelope marked with faded Nigerian eagle stamps, he sat up. Despite his regular telephone calls home, Ine insisted on sending him letters. He knew they gave his mother the opportunity to express her thoughts in full. The letters from home evoked equal amounts of happiness and dread. The temporary happiness because they were a physical sign of his mother's enduring love. But her lofty expectations, repackaged as harmless news reports, fueled the dread. The small, neat script belonged to his younger sister, Evelyn. She was their mother's letter writer. He read the last 2 paragraphs. My son, do you remember your childhood friend Nnamani? He, his beautiful wife and twin sons visited last week. You should have seen the fat envelope of money he gave your sister. As if that was not enough, the next day Nnamani sent his driver to fetch me for their housewarming party. When he asked after you, I told him you would be coming home soon. My son, we are all waiting. Eziafa Kego, I held my peace when you said you could not come home for your father's burial. We buried him like a man with no son. Now I wish to ask you for one thing. Come home and marry. Let me carry your children on my back before I join my ancestors. Your mother, Cordelia. Eziafa fought the urge to crush the letter. Her expectations were why he'd left Minnesota. He could not plan a respectable wedding with the pennies earned from his minimum wage job at a meat processing plant. A burning sensation radiated from Eziafa's amputated index finger. Sometimes, his foolish brain acted as if the finger was still there. He flung the letter on the coffee table. He stared at a 2-photo frame on the table. The first was a 10-year-old picture of Eziafa's parents dressed in their church clothes. The second was a family portrait. Papa, Ine, Evelyn, and him. Ine said she had given up on having another child until Evelyn showed up. Even at 5'6", Eziafa stood a head above the others. His hand shook as he repositioned the frame slightly. He'd wanted to go home to see his father off. Bedridden for 5 years, Papa gave him enough time to say a proper goodbye. But Eziafa sent the money he would have used for a plane ticket and family gifts to his mother. There were overdue medical bills to pay. After Papa's death, there were numerous burial items to buy, and just as many unreasonable demands on him from extended family members. Going home with near-empty pockets would only have added to his mother's sorrow. Eziafa grimaced as he scanned the space furnished with mismatched yard sale rejects. The faded brown couch had a thick, hardcover book replacing a leg. A dark green chair pushed up against the wall hid a large hole in the back. The wooden coffee table had teeth marks from a previous owner's dog. Not a home that evoked pride. He was 25 years old when he arrived in America. During those early years, Eziafa saw the string of menial jobs as stepping stones, as an immigrant rite of passage. A succession of slammed doors told him otherwise. And no matter how hard he tried to move on to bigger and better things, he could not get the corporate jobs he wanted. At first, he had seethed with fury and frustration. How dare this vast land not live up to the promises it peddled? 12 years passed, and he accepted the comfort that came with facing his sad reality. On any available ladder to success, his place was at the bottom. Eziafa rubbed his tired eyes. The long distance from home became a blessing. He could lick his wounds without worrying about the presence of a jeering audience. The scribbled words on the paper before him demanded answers he didn't have. Even in bed, with his head jammed into a pillow, he couldn't escape the echo of his mother's pleas. Chapter 3. Eziafa sprawled on his bed to dial Jovita's number. She answered on the third ring. Hello? Jovita's voice was slightly slurred, as if she'd just woken up. Good morning. It's Eziafa. Huh? Eziafa Okereke. We met at the Igbo Cultural Association party. Jovita yawned. Oh, yeah. I didn't expect to hear from you so early in the day. Sorry, I wanted to catch you before you left the house to conduct your business. I don't have any home showings today. Jovita gave another loud yawn. I need my cup of coffee. I was wondering if you would like to watch a movie with me. Eziafa heard the hesitation in her voice. I had planned to clean my apartment and do some laundry. I'm good at folding clothes, he said. Do you fold yours? He was a wash and leave in the laundry basket until you need to wear it kind of guy. Well, I'll take that as a no. How about we meet at Flick's Cinemas? It's right on Texas Avenue. Eziafa knew the place. What time works for you? Well, a 4:00 movie would be great. I'll see you then, he said. Okay, thanks for the invite. Eziafa clicked off his cell phone and rolled off the bed. It was time to give his car a good wash. He ran a hand across his uneven afro. He was due for a haircut. One could always work around a bald spot. His receding hairline was a different matter. It looked as if something had gnawed an uneven path around his head. Before leaving home to complete his chores, Eziafa ironed his outfit for the evening. A short-sleeved purple shirt and a pair of black trousers, and buffed his leather sandals with a cloth. He couldn't remember the last time he was so excited to spend time with anyone. Eziafa gulped as he watched Jovita's slow runway walk. The fabric of her knee-length dress flowed over generous curves. In combination with her sparkling brown eyes, the woman was a tantalizing sight. Jovita's face lit up when she saw him. Hey, you, she said. Eziafa doffed an imaginary cowboy hat. Howdy. She looked amused. The Igbo man has a Texan side. He grinned. I can pull one out when needed. Jovita slid her hand through the crook of his arm. What are we watching? She asked. Your choice, he said. The cinema offered old movies on the second Saturday of every month. Grease was that day's offering. Eziafa remembered the days of wearing faux leather jackets and posing as a T-bird. After watching the movie, he and his friend...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?